What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and Black Friday is here. So I thought I'd run through the Black Friday event with you guys, talk about the Tier 3 selector, the Transcended selector, and give you guys an idea of maybe what you should be trying to do, especially if you're going to spend some money in the game. So the first thing I want to touch on, guys, is we have this event quest here where you're going to be able to farm up these tokens and use these tokens for whatever you may choose. Now, the one thing you do have in here is the Tier 3 selector, and this is actually pretty awesome because a lot of these characters have tier 4s available, which is pretty damn lit. You got Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor. I mean, that is insane, guys. You also have Black Bolt, you have Venom, you have Storm. That is pretty sick. So if you're looking to tier 4 any of these characters and you don't have them at tier 3, you can pick up this selector and queue up any one of them, which I think would be a really good idea. And if you have all of them at tier 3, then maybe you'd probably want to go with Spider-Man first. And then I'd probably say, or maybe even Loki. I mean, if you want to be maybe more into PvP, maybe stick with Spider-Man. But if you really want to try, if you don't have Black Bolt at tier 4, then maybe, and you don't have Loki, then maybe you'd want to get Loki at tier 3. I mean, obviously, if you have Black Bolt tier 4, more than likely you already do have Loki. But if you don't, he'd be a really good choice. Falcon is a good tier 3. War Machine's a really good tier 3 as a support, especially for Iron Man and Cable, right? Sharon Rogers, everybody should already have her. Cyclops is a really good leadership. Rogue is a good character, but unfortunately isn't really that great anymore. And then you have Winter Soldier, who's got 30% physical attack leadership, and Black Panther unfortunately didn't get any love recently at all. Captain Marvel, she's got a nice leadership with a 30% increase of energy attack, which is nice. Daredevil in his newest uniform is pretty decent for PvP, but personally, guys, if you don't have any of these characters that have tier 4s available, that would be the first ones that I would tier 4. And I think Iron Man would be number 1 just because you can use them in so many places in ABL, ABX, World Boss Legend, especially early on. He's just nuts. So, and if you're really focused on ABL and ABX, then I would probably go with Black Widow after that if you don't have her. Remember, this is just for tier 3, but all these characters, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor, Black Bolt, Storm, Venom, all these characters go level 80, and they're just going to be god tier for you. And then, of course, you have all these other little resources that are in here. Now, you also have some selectors here. Now, these babies here, you have to spend money in order to buy these tokens. So you free-to-play players are not going to care about this at all. But I mean, select 6-star selector is pretty awesome in here if you're willing to spend the dough. And I can tell you guys right now, 500 of these tokens can get very, very expensive. This is the one that I would want because I just love Hulk. And if I'm going to go all out, I'm going to go all out for my favorite character. For you guys, I mean, if you're spending this kind of money, you already know what you want. In all honesty, I mean, that's really the truth of it. And really the same with the 5-star artifact. This is really where, I mean, it just gets into big, big money, guys. I mean, this brilliant, right? Or these mighties, you need 500 tokens, which is just, you're looking at 500 tokens. I would probably be around $350 to $400, give or take, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit more than that, which is, it's a large amount of money. In all honesty, I mean, they have a P card selector, but 700 tokens is, you're going to spend an enormous amount of money to get this, guys. This is going to be very, very expensive. I mean, if you're looking at $350 to $400 for 500 tokens, you better just jack it up, maybe about $150 to $200 more. So I mean, it gets pretty insane as far as the selectors are concerned. We do have the crystal deals in here. Now, these are always really good, these deals in here, because, I mean, the ratio, the dollar per crystal ratio is 190 crystals per dollar whenever you buy this pack. That is a very, very good value. And honestly, if you're going to spend money in the game, this is really where I think, you should do it. You should really just go for your crystals, because if you're interested in getting a brilliant whatever other than a rage, you can actually get it through the event if you're willing to spend the crystals, or just save your crystals for whatever the case may be. And as far as packs, right, as far as the packs that you can buy, it gets pretty hairy, guys. It gets really, really expensive as far as what you can actually queue up. Let me come out of here, right here, go back into the store. All right, this gets pretty wild. So they got the Black Friday Reforged pack for all kinds of different CTPs. You got one for the CTP of energy, $50 for 100 crystals. Honestly, guys, this is outrageous. This is very expensive. Honestly, in my opinion, buying a CTP for $50 when we get a free, we don't get a free selector, but we do get a free CTP every single month. I just think this is pretty ridiculous. They really should at least put some more crystals in here. $50 for this is just, I mean, it is reforged, to be fair. It is reforged. I mean, I, I still think it's pretty damn expensive. But to be fair, you would have to use another CTP of its own kind in order to do this with some other CTPs to increase the chances, right? So, but I still think it's pretty damn pricey. So if you're interested in this, you can do it. You're only going to get 50 bonus tokens in here. If you do it, they got authority, destruction, judgment. They have the greed. Personally, guys, I'm not going to do these at all. You have a Black Friday combined setup here for $100. And in here, this isn't a selector. You just have a chance of getting these P cards, but you got 4 P cards in here with 5,000 card crafting cubes and 2,000 crystals. Again, guys, I think this is pretty damn expensive. This is really, really high. I realize there's 4 P cards in here, but if you're a patient person, you're going to get P cards, guys, every month or so, right? You're going to get a P card every so often from the free tokens that we actually get that you can use. So I just think it's a little pricey, right? You got the tier 3 selector here that you can queue up for $50. You got the Transcended selector. And then we get into these big boy deals where you got the Black Friday 7-year anniversary pack. And in this pack, you can spend $200 for all this. You'll get 200 of these bonus tokens. You're going to get 12,000 crystals and just normal whatever. And then you're going to get 13,000 more crystals, which is 25,000 crystals. You'll get a CTP selector. It's not reforged, it's a regular CTP. And you'll get a 5-star artifact selector of your choosing, which is pretty cool. But again, I mean, $200, guys. I mean, you are getting 26,000 crystals in this thing, which is, a large amount. And if you do the math, right, if you do the math for this thing, let me figure it up really quick. So we have 25,000. Okay. I mean, it's 125 crystals per dollar, as it will be in the other pack that we're going to look at in a second. And it's 190 crystals per dollar when you just go out and buy the crystals, right? At least of the $100 packs. So when you're looking at it from a, dollar to crystal ratio, that's obviously much cheaper just to buy crystals. And is this CTP really that valuable? No, because you get a free one every month. It is a selector, but it's really not that valuable. The 5-star artifact is nice, but it only levels up one character. It only helps one character. Maybe it would be worth it for you, but again, I personally just don't think so. Then we get into this baby, right, which gets pretty wild. So this deal is very, very expensive. You're looking at 200, 250, 280. I mean, you're looking at $290 in this thing. And in total, you got 15,000 crystals here. You got 26,000. You have about 32,000, 35,000, 36, probably around 37 to 38,000 crystals in here, right? Give or take, right? 37 to 38,000, right? And we'll go to, we'll just do 37,000 crystals, right? And let's figure out, that's about 100, yeah, it's about 127 crystals per dollar, maybe a little bit less. Maybe it's going to be about 125 in all reality, because my math is a little incorrect on the amount of crystals that you're actually getting. But the only thing in here, guys, really of worth, in all honesty, I mean, if you look at these early packs, and you got to buy all these packs in order to go to the top here, there's nothing really good in here, right? You get a little gold, right? You get some boost points. Okay, whatever. That's not really a big deal. I mean, you are getting the crystals. You get a mega advancement ticket, which, I mean, really? We get one of those free every month. We get some boost points. You do get 20 million gold, but I mean, seriously, a lot of players, not all of us, but quite a few players have a lot of gold. I mean, I got over 500 million, but I mean, that's me. Maybe some other players, I mean, they're not going to have as much. So maybe that would be more valuable to them. And then you have this, advanced potential transcended ticket, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty nice. But then they have just regular, tier 3 materials in here. And this is what I'm a little sour about. I really wish they would have put tier 4 materials in here. Some carbonadium would have been really, really nice in these things, some solo Faltines. Those have been really good in here. I mean, you're going to get 50 million gold. I mean, you are getting 80 million in gold or 70 million in gold. That is a lot of gold, in all honesty. It can level up a native tier 2 character. But the fact that they just put these tier 3 materials, which we can farm the living hell out of through the game, in the story mode, in World Boss Legends, it's just, it kind of sucks, guys. We have a real excess of CCF already. The books are nice, but honestly, I think this is really more of a thing for content creators. I mean, if you're in a hurry and you're trying to level more characters, I guess it'd be really good for you. And then we get into the money here, which is the, P card selector. Now, it's nice to see a P card selector in here. It really is. But you got to spend $290 damn dollars to get to this point. And you have a 6-star artifact. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm actually considering buying this one here because I'll take all these crystals. I'm going to invest it in the event that I'm going to show you guys in a second to try to get me a brilliant, and then I can have a 6-star artifact for Hulk. So I can make Hulk as strong as can be because ever since his nerfs or ever since they gave him his intended damage, now I can make him at least a little bit stronger because he absolutely needs it. And having this P card selector would be really awesome for starting up the second set of cards that I'm going to set up because I'm thinking about setting up a PvP setup. Lots and lots of HP. So that is something that I am considering. It really would help the extra books. And then again, guys, another 50 million gold. So I mean, 120 million in gold. I still think this is extremely expensive, but depending on where you're at in the game, it might be worth it for you if you had the funds to be able to afford something like this. And I really don't advocate for anybody to spend money. It's really up to you guys whether or not you want to do it. But if you're looking at the cost to reward ratio as far as how many crystals you're getting per dollar, honestly, just buying crystals straight, buying straight crystals is going to be much, much better for you because you're going to get way, way more. You're not going to get the selectors, you're not going to get the gold, but you're going to get way more crystals. And we all know that's the main currency in the game. You'll be able to buy more uniforms. So that might be, I mean, in all reality, guys, that's really the better way to go, especially if you're patient. I'm kind of impatient and I'm seriously thinking about taking advantage of this. And if I do buy this, it will give me quite a few tokens. It's not going to give me 500 tokens, but it will give me quite a few tokens where I can at least get a free CTP. So if I'm not going to tell you guys that it's something you should consider. It's something that I'm considering. Whether or not you guys think it's worth it, it's really up to you. But I mean, 290 bucks is pretty pricey. Again, if you just buy crystals, it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. 190 crystals per dollar versus 125 crystals per dollar. And then we get into the secret shop. Now, last year, guys, I didn't invest in this thing at all, right? A little stingy last year, a little short on funds. This year, I'm doing much better. So as you guys can see, I've already done this 3 times, and I'm going to do it again because I want a brilliant CTP of Judgment. I have a brilliant rage. I have a brilliant I said destruction. I want a brilliant CTP of Judgment, right? I already have a brilliant destruction, a brilliant rage. So I want a CTP of Judgment or brilliant Judgment, especially for Thor. And even if it isn't the most optimal thing for Thor, I'll have it for another elemental character in the future. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for. I really want to go for the brilliant in here. That's kind of my target that I'm trying to go for, right? I want to get to this brilliant and be able to pick. It really does suck they didn't put the brilliant rage. And honestly, I think that's kind of strange that they didn't do that because a lot of the players that spend money in this game that really like the big whales, they're very, very competitive in ABX and ABL. And what is the best obelisk for those game modes? It is the Rage. And the Brilliant Rage, at least in my humble opinion, ain't worth a damn in World Boss Legend. Maybe on some characters it is. I tested on Hulk. It isn't worth a crap on him. But in ABL and ABX, you do see a big improvement from using a Mighty or a Brilliant Rage. So these guys that spend all this money, that's really what they were shooting for. And the fact that they don't have it in here kind of sucks. And that's kind of the thing about the Brilliant Judgment. On a really strong elemental character, it could be an OP obelisk, even in ABL and ABX, but still be really, really good for World Boss Legend. And that's kind of why I want it. And I'm thinking about tier 4ing Thor. So that would probably be a very good obelisk for him. However, we do know there's a elemental cap. So maybe that won't be the case. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm just going to wait for this thing to go down every single time. And then I'm going to buy the cheapest crystal thing here. I'm going to probably buy that $290 pack that you guys saw. I'm going to have all those extra crystals. And then I'm going to start, picking these every so often. I'm going to set my alarm so that way I don't miss this and trying to finish this thing out so I can get a brilliant judgment. Guys, from what I've seen, I think players have spent, 21,000, 28,000. I'm not really sure how many, crystals, 21 to 28,000 crystals in order to finish this thing completely. Depending on your luck, depending on the deals that you're going to have, I'm actually going to be tallying up exactly how many crystals I've spent doing this as far as getting the brilliant judgment. I will let you guys know, but I think for most players, they're not going to do this unless they are spenders, obviously, and that they have an insane amount of crystals. There are some other things going on right now as far as like unequipping things that are going on. I believe right now we can, unequip our cars for 50% off. We can unequip our obelisk. I mean, we can unequip our obelisk here, 50% off. And I might make a video about that as far as, what characters maybe you want to unequip your obelisk. We can also unequip we got a rate off we have an unequipped discount for blessings as well, or for urus. So that's also something else to keep in mind. And I might make a video about that as well. We also ended up getting a Transcended selector. And unfortunately, guys, most of these characters in here really aren't that great. Moon Knight would easily be number one because he does have a tier 4 and he can go to level 80. He's also insane for ABL, ABX. Still the meta currently. He is freaking nuts. God tier character. Medusa's a really good character, a really good transcended character. Johnny's a really good transcended character. Iron Fist is a decent transcended character. Luke Cage is really good for PvP. I mean, he's outshined now, but I mean, for AC, he's definitely going to be really, really great. Doc Ock is fairly strong, but I mean, he has kind of fallen off the marker, guys, and really kind of same with Bullseye. Sif is an amazing support in World Boss Legends, so maybe having her transcended might be a really good bonus for you. Jessica does offer a support to Iron Fist, so that is something maybe to think about. Elsa Bloodstone does have 30% physical attack. Maybe you want to use her. Silk, if you have her paywall uniform, is actually insane. But more than likely, guys, if you have that paywall uniform, you already have her transcended. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Unfortunately, these other characters really aren't the greatest. It's really just a matter of opinion. You just pick and choose who you want, so that way you can actually get through the story mode a little bit easier. So that concludes the Black Friday update, and you guys already are aware of my plan and what I'm actually going to be trying to do. But, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about those deals. What are you going to do? Are you just going to buy crystals? Are you going to buy some of those deals? I mean, there's going to be, we can actually get we can actually get P cards. There's going to be a discount to go for P cards and for CTPs later on. I don't think that's in here right now. I don't think we can do that right now. Right, no, this is going to be discounted later on, and I might end up making a video about that. And this is also going to be discounted later on as well. But let me know what you guys plan on doing during this update, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.